All right, y'all, it's the Grind Infotainment. I am your host, Should Diddy, quadruple OG of the city for a reason. And in the house today, we have Doc Mayham, aka Mayhem the Ghost. What's going on, boss man? How you doing?
What's good, fam? I'm
Most
good.
definitely. We're doing good. Tell the people where to find you at on social media platforms and or to find your music as well.
You can find me on IG, which is Mayhem the Ghost. You can find me on Facebook as Doc Mayhem, and you can find me on Amazon Music. Right now, I got a single out there, 99 cents. You know what I mean? Just anybody can go get it. You know what I mean? It's just like that. But then you can find me on Spotify, Reverb Nation.
Okay, okay. And so, how long have you been doing music?
Man, I've been doing music now since probably about 2002.
Okay. All right, what inspired you to get into the music?
The people I was influenced by and the people I've been around. You know what I mean? Because I've been around music for a long time, but I never was doing it. So I heard this dude, and he asked me to spit something of his just so I can get the feel of actually what music was like. And when I did, I couldn't stop. You know what I mean? So I was already writing poetry a little bit. So I
Okay.
just took that and just moved that over to the rhythmic side of music. Started
Word.
doing music.
Okay. And so, who are some of your influences musically?
You got an era?
Huh?
You got an era? I'm gonna say because like some music today is okay, but
Okay.
I'm more like '90s, so I'm stuck on like a lot of D Block. You know what I'm saying? A lot of like Buster. I had like, and if you take it down to the South, I like Tip. You know what I'm saying? I like Ludacris. I like Outkast. You know, it's Lil
Okay.
Wayne. It's a lot of people that influence. You know what I'm saying? My music.
Word. Word. Okay. So now, hypothetically, and for the sake of argument, if you had to put a label on your style, is there a label that could be put on your style? Okay.
No, I'm unorthodox. See,
I
the reason why I
like
say
it.
that because each beat craft their own song.
Okay.
So when you hear a beat, you pretty much know like what type of wordplay to put on that beat. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's so different. You should never come the same because no beat is the same. You should always craft your music around that beat. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's always should be different if you got a different beat.
Most definitely. And see, I asked you that because I was listening earlier
Yeah.
when we was at the venue, and you know what I'm saying, you had made the statement that for some artists, their style is stagnant because they come the same way on every beat.
Right. Right.
And you kind of touched on what you said just now about it should be different, switch it
Right.
up here and there, you know. So now you said you had a single that's out. Tell us that single again.
The single is I Came Up. I
Came up.
Came Up was produced by Greedy Boy Records, and it was produced by a producer named QDH, one of the
Okay.
best producers in Fayetteville.
Shout out to Kid
Shout out to
QDH.
QDH.
Okay, so now tell us a little bit about the song and how what is it touching on and what inspired it.
It's more like I'm trying to get from
Okay,
where I came from on the come up. You know what I'm saying? And being with the team that I am with, knowing that we are on the come up, I felt like it was a great song to produce, you know what I'm saying, to put out because it signifies what we're about. We're on the come up. And Greedy Boy Label is getting the name out there now. So I feel like that song was prevalent.
most definitely, most definitely. And now you're featured on a song with Boss Greedy,
Right.
and you had the opportunity to perform it tonight. And I mean, I know that y'all been doing shows and you've been performing and everything. Was this performance different from any of the other ones
Yes.
for you? Or
Yes, it was.
and what made it different for you this time compared to some of the other times?
The vibe.
The vibe.
The vibe of the whole situation. See,
Okay.
because it was an anticipation waiting all the way up until we performed. You know what I mean? So I had loved the whole scene. It was static. You know what I'm saying? Everybody brought their own. So it was more like, you ready to go do yours now. So, because you see what the crowd is about. The crowd was into the music. So you wanted to get them into the music, like your music, like they was into everybody else's music. So you was ready just to perform. So yeah, it was nice.
Most definitely, most definitely. And how did you feel about the reception of the crowd? When you were performing up there.
That's the hype. You know, whenever you see the crowd get into your music, it make you get better into your music.
Right,
That's why people want people into they, you know what I'm saying, they song. Like they want you to stand up, come to the front. I mean, because you want them, you know what I mean, to feel the music. And if they into the music the way you want them to be into it, you're going to bring that more energy and that more delivery to the crowd to make them more feel it. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
I agree with you on that. Okay. Now, you said that you were influenced by people that you were around to get into music and everything. Um, is this something that you see yourself doing on a extended longevity? When I say extended, meaning 10, 20 years from now.
For me, it's no age. For me, if you love it, you love it. You know what I mean? If you can still put that energy into that music, like you first brought it out and let people hear you the first time, if you still got that kind of energy 20 years from now, then why not? You know what I mean? If you have the fan base, if you got the people still requesting it, then why not?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I probably would never stop until I couldn't breathe no more because I think it's a part of me.
Most deaf, most deaf. So, what are some of the things that keep you inspired to do music? I mean, because I'm pretty sure there's some frustrations with it.
The need to be different, the need to stand out, the need to make something that stands out from everybody. You know what I'm saying? If a lot of music today kind of do sound the same. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
what is it in your wordplay and your style and your beat of choice that you chose that's gonna make you stand out from 100 people?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? If you spit your song amongst 100 people, can they really recognize you? That's the motivation. The motivation is to make sure that you stand out and to be different.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So now I want to ask you on the flip side of that question, what are some of the frustrations that you've come across with doing music?
Man, being a songwriter
Okay.
is hard because it's so much music out here that they're talked about so much stuff.
Right.
And how can you talk about that same situation but make it different? Make it yours.
Right.
See, a lot of people riding off what somebody else said and try to feed off that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take that same song and make it different? Make it yours. The challenge is your format. The challenge is what you're gonna talk about. The challenge is your wordplay. Like what is you gonna put on that song
Right.
to let somebody say that, you know what, boy, I feel that. Everybody not gonna feel it, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta make something that's gonna make people feel it. And if you don't drive from emotion, you're not really writing a good song.
Right. That's true. That's very true. So you're doing shows, you're doing the music, you're with a good team. What are some of the things that you would either suggest or just really try to push into somebody's head that wants to get into doing music?
Getting into music is hard. Because like I said earlier, you gotta stand out. So you gotta find a way to be unique and to be you. Your wordplay gotta be different than the next man. The way you put your words has to be different than the next man. Your delivery has to be different than the next man.
Right.
So if you're really trying to craft a song, your emotions got to be involved in it. And if you really want to appeal to people, you got to have that delivery. Because it don't really matter what words you put down, because people already proved that to us. It don't
Right.
matter what words you put down, it matters how you deliver it to the crowd. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can find your way to deliver something to the crowd to make them feel like you unique and you stand out, then that's what you do.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So now, with the way that music is going, and everybody, for the most part, sounding the same, do do you feel like a lot of the rappers that are out now are gonna last in the next 3 years.
Some will because of their fan base.
Okay.
It's a lot of people that we don't listen to that have a great fan base.
Right.
That's still going to be around 3-4 years from now because of their fan base. Now I'm not going to name names, you know what I'm saying, but there's a lot of people out here that just need to change up.
Okay.
And if they don't change up, it's always a certain era, another group come through and take over.
Right.
You feel me? And it's about that time for another group to come through and take over.
Indeed, indeed. So now, how important do you feel it is to network when going to these shows?
Networking is 90% of this music. Networking is about who you know. It's about the important people that you have in your catalog that you can call, you know what I'm saying, to move forward or something like that. Now, is without networking, you can't get your music out. But it's so easy to get your music out now. Networking is social media. Networking back in the day used to be out the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to this state, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna set it up. You know what I'm saying? But right now, networking on social media, you never know who knows who. You know what I mean? So yeah, networking hand to hand is better to me than social media because you can't get that message to a person on social media like you want.
Right.
But a phone call or a hand message or something like that, or a talk, you know what I'm saying, a face to face, yeah, that's the best. So I would say networking is 90% of your business when it comes to music.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, what you got going on next? What's next for Doc Mayham?
Atlanta. I'm not a person to count my age before they hatch. I take it day by day. I take it session by session. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you start counting, that's when you start losing.
Right.
You got to add up first, then you can count.
Right, right. I feel you on that. Most definitely. So now, at the moment, do you have any visuals that are going to be coming out?
Like music wise?
Like videos?
Videos. I have a lot of songs.
Okay.
When I say a lot of songs, a lot of songs. And I haven't made a video for neither one of them yet.
Okay.
Now, me and my team, I was greedy. We talking about shooting one for a couple of them. You know what I mean? Just ain't got to that motion yet, but it's in play. It's on the way. You know what I mean? So I would say just sit back and wait.
Okay. All right. So, excuse me. So now, out of these many songs, which one was your most favorite one to make?
I have a song called My Dedication to Tupac.
Okay.
And I really wish you would have heard that. My dedication to Tupac is something that, because I've been incarcerated, he's been incarcerated.
Okay.
So I felt like what he'd been through. I felt like his struggles and his trials back there. And what he was talking about, I lived.
Okay.
So it was only right, you know what I'm saying, for me to take one of my favorite artists, if not the top artist, you know what I'm saying, and make a song that intertwines me and him. So that's what I did. That's one of my, I'm going to say, creative songs right now.
Okay. All right. So now, let me ask this. What song in your catalog was one that you felt was the most frustrating to execute?
To finish,
Mm-hmm.
all of them.
I like that. I like that.
Because
like that.
one thing that I've known about writing music, you have to have a good beat first. Because it starts with your beat. You know what I'm saying? Then your hook got to catch them. Right. Then after your hook catch them, the way you come in that first verse got to catch them. Because if everything is straight and the first verse is not came in right, they're going to skip that. You know what I mean? They're going to go to the next. So for what I see is, if you're not trying to actually capture no one, you know what I'm saying, then you can just write a song in 5 minutes.
Right.
You feel me? Eminem said in an interview in a magazine, if you can sit down and say you wrote a platinum song in 20 minutes, you're alive. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Now, I say that's shaky a little bit. That's 50-50. Because if you got a fan base, it doesn't matter what you say.
True
They will
indeed.
support you regardless. You
True
feel what I'm
indeed.
saying? But for a person that's trying to get their music out there, it matters what you say until you make it to that point to where it don't matter what you say.
Right. Right. Okay. So now, do you feel that with some of the local showcases that it's more about popularity or the actual talent that gets an artist noticed?
I'm gonna say half and half.
Okay.
I'm gonna say half and half because sometimes it can be your music, and sometimes it can be your connection.
Okay.
Sometimes it don't have to be your music. Sometimes it can be the person you are. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if they say I don't know no one and I'm trying to get out there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pass my music to anybody who I think gonna get me out there. That's not a connection.
Okay.
That's not no important person, an important person in my life that's actually gonna get me to my point. I'm just trying anybody. But an important connection is the people that you met tonight. Rubbing shoulders and talking to them, that might have put you in a situation to where if you could have made a phone call, that person might have could have did something for you because you already talked, you already rubbed shoulders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it could be the person you know, and sometimes you can get off on raw talent. Some people get off on a voice, but
Right.
they're a wordplay. Some folks got wordplay and don't have a voice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they gotta pass it on. But like I say, it all depends on who you know. So I'm gonna say half and half.
Okay. All right. So, do you enjoy performing on the road more, or do you just enjoy performing, period?
I enjoy performing, period. See, for me, it's not about the money. I just love performing. I just
Okay.
love taking what I crafted and giving it to people to see if they can relate to it.
Right.
And if they can relate to it, then you're gonna write something else that's gonna
Right.
rival what you just did to make them relate to it more.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm more of an artist than I am in love of just what I get out of it. You feel me? I
Okay.
love being in front of people. You know what I mean? Letting them
Excellent.
hear what you came up with. To me, that's the best.
I like that. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up in just a second because y'all had an amazing night, extraordinary, performance and
Appreciate
everything.
it.
I know y'all tired because y'all been running around all
Mm.
day, handling business, everything. Is there anything you want to say? Any shout outs you want to give before we cut out?
Shouts out to the fam, for the ones that support me, my family and friends. Shouts out to God, you know what I'm saying, for even having me alive to do this situation like this. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the family that I met on this journey, you know what I'm saying, Greedy Boy Entertainment. I feel like we're gonna be together for a while, you know what I'm saying? So anybody that follows me or anybody that knows me, shouts out to you, you know. Ain't
Right.
really no names in my category.
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, boss man, I appreciate you giving me the honor and
Appreciate you, bro.
ability to do this interview with you. Um, Definitely keeping my eyes on your career and your music and everything. Much success to you.
Appreciate it.
We're definitely gonna do a follow up in the future. You know what I'm saying? So that way we can let the people know that may not end up following you. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, might miss this interview or somewhat, and show them how you've blown up more,
Right,
you know what I'm saying, in the future so that way they can catch up.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And hey, I just appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, offering us that time to sit down with you and everything.
Appreciate you, bro.
Most definitely. Well,
All
y'all,
day.
this is the Grind Infotainment. As you already know, I'm your host, Shoot Diddy, the quadruple OG of the city. And we're gonna catch y'all on the next trip.
All day.